For some of you here today, you might be a little bit confused because today we heard the gospel story from today's gospel from ear B. And normally at this time we would be reading the gospel from ear A, which is the woman at the well. But today we read the regular, the day's gospel, because today we're at this Mass, we're not celebrating the scrutinies, which is usually for the people who are receiving the RCIA or other sacraments. So today, in our gospel, we hear the story at the time of the Passover, and Jesus enters the temple of Jerusalem. And here we see the sellers and money changers who turn the sacred temple into a marketplace and losing sight of reverence due to God's dwelling place. And Jesus, in his divine insight, not only took action and against the outward transgressions that is happening at the temple, but also sought to address the deeper issue, the state of the human hearts. He knew the limitations of our nature and tendency to prioritize worldly concerns over spiritual matters. So we ask the question, why does Jesus concern himself with the human hearts and not just kick out everyone at the temple? And in our Catechism of the Catholic Church, the teaching of the Church reminds us this: the heart is a dwelling place where I am, where I live. According to the Semitic or biblical expression, the heart is a place to which I withdraw. The heart is our hidden center beyond the grasp of our reason and of others. Only the Spirit of God can fathom the human heart and know it fully. So this theme of understanding the human nature and the call to genuine heart, the genuine faith, carries profound significance for us during this Lenten journey. At this time of Lent, Lent invites each and one of us to look within, to examine our own hearts, and discern if there are areas where we too have allowed the sacred space within us to be cluttered by the distraction of the world. And we also have to think about who is occupying our heart. Who's the most important in our lives? Have we turned our inner sanctuary into a marketplace where we're preoccupied with the trivial things or material possessions? There is a saying that in the Liturgy of the Hours, you cannot serve both God and mammon. And with this, we think about who is preoccupying our hearts. And we see in the gospel that Jesus' discernment between monetary belief and the authentic faith challenges us to evaluate our own sincerity of our own commitment. Lent is not just a season of external practice of faith, almsgiving, and fasting. And we're not just doing it just because we like to. But then it gives us a genuine time to look at ourselves, look into our hearts, to look at our faith, and allow us to be converted to Jesus by turning away from sin and the wholehearted embrace of our own faith. It's like someone else that you know, that really knows you, looks into you or looks at you and is able to read your heart. And for that, I could say that I could experience that from my own family, especially my mom, saying that mom knows best. And mom really knows you're deep in your soul. But then, at this time, as we embark our Lenten journey today, we're asked to humbly acknowledge our own vulnerabilities, see our state of our status of our own hearts, and bring it to the Lord, and to also recognize that we're not asked to be perfect, but to not be similar to those at the temple who are making the temple into a marketplace. In our repentance and self-reflection, we are asked to turn to God with sincere hearts, seeking grace to cleanse the temple within. So at this time of this Lenten season, let this be an opportunity to purify our own hearts, our own commitment to God, and embrace that transformative power of genuine faith.